Okay, as you see now, this is a question that we are discussing about water resistance. Okay, so there are these three different shapes, X, Y, and Z. Which shape should Catherine class choose if they want to win the race in this across the swimming pool? So you must know that these are solid, right? Solid, they move in liquid, they will encounter water resistance. So you learn about fluid dynamics, but they don't use the word fluid dynamics in the school. You learn about streamlined body, right? So streamlined body will result in the least water resistance. So she should choose Z. Okay. Okay. Z has a most streamlined shape. So you must use a superlative, most. Why? Therefore, it can reduce water resistance the most. Hence, it can travel fastest to win the race. So you can see there are three superlative here. Most streamlined, reduce water resistant most, and travel fastest. So these are 2-mark questions. Next question. Okay, before that, I will screen share this for the students to capture the answer. And then I proceed to the next question. Okay, this one is a very interesting question. I hope that you can visualize this. So Chloe placed two pieces of paper, A and B. They overlap each other as being shown here. So it's good to indicate, if you can't see, right, what you can do is you can highlight the overlapping part, which is this part. Okay, this part is being overlapped. Next, okay, before that, part A, they say name the force acting on paper B when it's pulled. Okay, when it's pulled, right? So there's this frictional force. So you must indicate frictional force. Okay, next, Chloe arranged two books, X and Y. So there's two pieces of paper, right? Now the two pieces of paper became two books. There are pages in the book that overlap as shown here. In diagram 1, she put the books apart in the opposite direction. So there's pull here and pull here. Okay. Chloe then changed the manner the pages overlap. So you can see this part, right? The first part I can indicate with this color. This is the overlapping region. The second one, I use another color. You can see the overlapping region like has increased like 3 times. If you compare these two surfaces here and here. So because more surface area in contact will result in more frictional force. So you explain why it's more difficult to pull the box apart in diagram 2 and explain why. So this question is quite straightforward. You must mention the pages in diagram 2 has larger surface area, okay? Larger surface area overlapping. Okay. Thus, increasing the amount of frictional forces acting between the surfaces of the page as compared in diagram 1. So you must answer in this manner. So same thing, I would screen share this for my students to get this answer, to check their solutions. And together with this, it's quite easy, just frictional force. So just answer the first part, frictional force. Okay, before I go to the next question, I will pause to see if there's any questions. Okay, let's see this question. This ice skating boot is being held with a hand. Explain why the ice skating boot did not slip. So you know there's a force that acts downwards, right? So you indicate this first, and then you put that is actually the gravitational force. And then here at the hand here, there's another force between the finger and the boot. So this is like the frictional force between her hand and the surface of the ice skating boot. So this is how we explain. Remember, I told you earlier, do not use the word overcome, right? Use the word greater than. So you should say the frictional force between the boot and Easter hand is greater than the gravitational force pulling it down. Okay, to be more specific, you can say the frictional force. Yeah, actually, it's not upward lah, because it's just holding here. Okay, so the frictional force between the boot and Easter's hand is greater than the gravitational force pulling it down. So therefore, it did not slip out of the hand. Okay, next, state the forces acting on the ice skating boot. So this is quite easy. If you can answer number one, number two, you have no problem. Frictional force and gravitational force. Okay, then this part. Easter wanted to buy a pair of ice skating boots. Her father told her to buy one. Okay, there's a typo error one. The typo error is O-N-E, one. With a thinner blade, so she can skate faster. Explain how a thinner blade would allow her to skate faster. So thinner blade, lesser surface area in contact, right? Yeah. So is it a thinner blade has smaller or lesser surface area in contact with the ice. So there's lesser frictional force between the blade and the ice, causing Easter to skate faster. So this is a question for this question. And this question actually appears in the actual prelim examination, which you can see is stated there in 2020 in Kranji Primary School, the exam here. 2020 science exam. Okay. KPS is a Kranji Primary School. So this question is a good question to answer this. So we have done this question on gravitational force and frictional force. I screenshot the answer to the students online. So you notice this question also is about frictional force. And earlier, this one is about water resistant. So water resistant is also a type of frictional force in liquid. So we have done these three questions in a row. And okay, before that, there's one more part. Part D. Okay, after skating, Easter wanted to open a bottle of cookie to eat, but was unable to do so. Her father told her to place a rubber band around the lid and turn the lid again. So what was the reason for placing the rubber band? So the rubber band increased the frictional force between Easter's hand and the lid, causing her to open the lid easier. So this is an application questions, which actually we can use it in our daily lives. If you encounter difficulty, right, in opening certain container, you can try this. Yeah, normally the container, because metal surfaces, they have lesser frictional force. So you put additional rubber band to increase the frictional force between your hand and the metal lid. So these are the questions, and I'll pause recording.